Television shows go through many steps before making it to your screens, so for any show to go into a production stage is impressive enough as it is, but that doesn't mean that it's clear for takeoff yet. Although it's assumed that once all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, once a show goes into production it is headed for air, but that's not always the case. The following is a list of game and by extension competition shows that were just about ready for air, but essentially torpedoed late in the process for reasons varying from explosive backlash to explosive diarrhea. Hold on to your butts, here we go with 8 game shows that never aired. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you are a television history fan as I am. Also, please don't hesitate to let me know of any shows I may have left off. They may make a future list. Number 8. Match Game 08. Match Game has received many reboots over the years, but there was one that never saw the light of day. In 2008, a new version of the classic show had a pilot episode created. This version would be hosted by Andy Daly and featured panelists including Norm Macdonald, Sarah Silverman, and Rashida Jones. The set and the music is a direct throwback to the original Gene Rayburn series, which is super admirable. But like the '98 version, the questions were designed to just shock the viewer with copious amounts of risque humor. Thus, TBS decided against the series in favor of the talk show Lopez Tonight. The series eventually got revived in 2016 for ABC's Fun and Games Night with Alec Baldwin hosting, but honestly, could we just seriously blank off with the Match Game already? Number 7. Chris Hardwick's AllStar Celebrity Bowling. A revival of the classic series from the 1970s Celebrity Bowling, this version, hosted by Chris Hardwick, would feature teams of bowlers competing to see who could take home the most money for their favorite charity. Originally part of the Nerdist YouTube channel, the series was in development for a television release on AMC. Although episodes were produced, AMC decided several months later to instead focus more on scripted television, and thus this series, a series about vision scenery, and an untitled Billy Corgan wrestling series never premiered. Although the Nerdist removed these episodes from their channel as of 2024, some of these episodes have been re-uploaded onto a new channel dedicated to the series. Number 6. Do You Trust Me? Clearly not learning from the mistakes of greenlighting shows like Friend or Foe or Shafted, CBS tried a similar idea in 2007 with Do You Trust Me? The show, hosted by Tucker Carlson, yes, that Tucker Carlson, was supposed to be about 2 people who play as a team to earn up to $1 million. But as the show goes on, facts about the players are read to make them trust each other less and less. 6 episodes were taped, but never aired. Tucker Carlson. Number 5. Loveland. Crossing over to the UK for this entry, Loveland was a show that was inspired by the classic dating game show Blind Date. To be hosted by Cilla Black, instead of contestants sitting in the same room, their identities would be hidden behind animated avatars. Each episode concludes with the contestant picking their preferred animated character before meeting that person in real life. A pilot for the series was created in 2008, however, due to the show's high expense of production, it never aired and the show was never picked up. Number 4. Head of the Class. Long before the completely unrelated sitcom, there was this 1960 game show that never was. Gene Rayburn was set to host this show where 4 contestants would watch a skit and try to remember elements of it. The contestants would then have a designated head of the class who would read the questions about the skit and win money based on it. Crazy enough, the show was even listed in TV Guide, but it was kiboshed in the 11th hour. Number 3. In the Dark. In 1997, the UK game show In the Dark almost debuted in the US. Almost. On this show, couples would do regular everyday things except, you guessed it, in the dark. It was a goofy idea but really made enjoyable by host Julian Clary, who was set to make his US breakthrough with this series. In the Dark was pulled from the air 6 hours before its debut. While the late 90s and early 2000s saw many classic game shows find their way over from the United Kingdom, this wouldn't end up being one of them. Number 2. Our Little Genius. This show, which almost debuted on Fox in 2010, was self-destroyed by producer Mark Burnett before it became a legal nightmare. On this quiz show, which was to be hosted by Kevin Pollak, child prodigies would be asked increasingly difficult questions. However, it appeared that the contestants were being given more information than they should have had, and the FCC had begun inquiries into the show. Knowing that the show was potentially a legal nightmare, Burnett had Fox postpone the show before eventually being completely scrapped. The winning contestants still got their money, but the show never saw the light of day. On the bright side, we got a longer American Idol premiere and a Simpsons rerun out of the ordeal, so at least we have that to thank from this debacle. And the #1 game show that never aired, Ultimate Slip and Slide. This entry is absolutely disgusting. NBC had big plans for Ultimate Slip and Slide, which was based on the popular backyard activity of the same name. The show is hosted by Bobby Moynihan and Ron Funches, and was set to premiere after the postponed 2020 Summer Olympics closing ceremony. However, production was abruptly halted in June 2021 when, according to Vulture, up to 40 members of the crew began suffering from explosive diarrhea. After further tests were made, it showed that the set was indeed contaminated with Giardia, and NBC decided to shut down the series completely. Ultimate Slip and Slide had taped 7 of its 8 weeks by the time the outbreak occurred. Even with the show so close to competition, no winner would be decided. NBC lost $18 million as the result of the failed venture, and the show was replaced in the lineup by Family Game Fight. Thus, it is quite likely that Ultimate Slip and Slide may set the record as being the first show ever cancelled due to a mass bathroom incident. We can all hope there won't be any more. Ever.